Hey guys, it's time for another Rock You tutorial. This one, Sweet Home Chicago. There has never been an easier song. Like all blues songs, it has a 12-bar structure with the first two lines repeating and the third line pretty much the same as the first two. The last line, sorry, the fourth line. So all blues have the same structure, and all blues have 3 chords in them, although you can add a few interesting ones to make it more interesting sometimes, but most blues have 3 chords. What we call the 1, which is the root chord, in this case E. You know how to make an E. The 4, which in the key of E is an A. And then what we call the 5 chord, the 5th, which in the key of E is a B. Which you make like that. Now let's go through those chords quickly. E you should know. Can you focus on my hand? Thanks. E you should know. Like an E minor, but with an extra finger. That's it. A, you probably make with 3 fingers. 1, 2, 3, like this. And don't hit the top string on an A. You should really start with the A. But I'm going to try to encourage you, especially for the purposes of rock and blues, to learn to make it an A with 1 finger. You can make it, for example, with your pinky. If you press those 3 strings down with your pinky and curve your finger so that the lower E isn't hit, or the higher E, you can make it like that. And the reason why it's so good to do that way is because then you can easily slide up to the B, or the C, or the D, or the E. So you can also do you can use your ring finger. In fact, that's probably better because then it leaves your pinky free, but I can't do it really, so I use my pinky. You can even use your index finger. Just do it like that. So your E, your A, and your B is the same. You've been making a B power chord already for School of Rock. Pretty much the same thing. But this time you're going to add these 2 notes too. And you're not going to necessarily play this bottom one unless you're really good at keeping your finger clear. That would work. But it works just like that. You don't hit the top one on a B. It won't sound good. So it just doesn't sound good. So start with the A string. Okay? Now, a blues, like I said, pretty much the same every time, although there are small variations. So this one just starts like this, E. Then it goes to A. Back to E. Now A. Back to E. Now B. And now A. And now E. And then a quick B if you can. You don't actually have to do it. That is the entire song. What's great about a blues is you repeat the same things over and over and over again. So I'm just going to do it one more time with the lyrics, and I'm going to show you some things. My camera person is very bored, but she's just going to have to get used to it. Alright? So it goes like this. Okay? Come on! Get a little bold. Baby, don't you want to go? That's it. Come on! You wanna go back to that B, same old place, hey, sweet home Chicago. And then whatever the lyrics are, the chords stay exactly the same. There's no pre-chorus, there's no intro. Well, there is, but I'll show you that another time. Okay, just one note before I move on to bass. You might say, if all blues songs are the same, why do we bother? It must be really boring. Well, no. You got a very simple structure, which you can add a lot of improvisation onto. So, for example, you could do what's called turnaround licks, which I like to do this way. Or you can do this. You can also do a lot of soloing, which we're going to talk more about in another video. So, there's all kinds of things you can do that are fun in a blues song. It's a great way to improvise, to jam, and to solo. Alright, moving on to bass. Okay, Christopher, on bass, just like I said with guitar, it's 3 chords. Your job is only to make sure at least those 3 root notes get played, which are E, A, and B. Or if you prefer E, A, and B on the open string. And there's a lot you can do. A basic strum, and in fact the way Eric Clapton's bass player does it on the version I sent you is just... That's all. Come on, baby, don't you wanna go? don't you wanna go back to that same old place, sweet home Chicago? But you can also play around with this one, and I suggest you try some stuff out that you might improvise. One very standard blues progression for the bass is a kind of a minor sounding, but it works really well. It's just simply to pedal the second and third frets above the fret you're playing. So, for example, if you're playing an open E, you could also play the F sharp and the G. So it would be like this. Then you go to the A. Now the B. You can see I really want to be a bass player. Another one I found, which is a very traditional blues progression, is the 4th and the 7th frets above. Sorry, the 4th and the 7th frets above the note you're playing. So I think that's the 3rd and the 5th. I get confused with the 5th thing, but I don't want to work it out now. So you would go, for example, open, 4, 7, 4, 7. So it would sound like this. Okay, or you can vary that. I like a little better is to go 4th and 5th on the 2nd string. So you go 1, 4, 7, 4, 5, 4, 7 instead of 4, 7. So okay, and one I found that I really like, just to throw out what you can do, is you go to the octave and then you descend from there. So you start with your open E. And I'm hitting on the 12th fret. So that's an octave above. And then I'm walking down from there. Then you go to the A. You can do that for the third one. You can go, or you can use your excellent extra B string, which you never get a chance to use. I don't know how it'll sound if the B is lower than the E and the A, but give it a shot. And that's just the experiment. I mean, there's so many things you can do, and I want you to get jammy with this. I want you to try to improvise a little bit, and we're going to improvise when we play it too. So you can even do something like this. This is your chance to improvise and go crazy. All right, that's it. That's all there is to Sweet Home Chicago.